so one of the biggest complaints about taking an EOC is kids say, I didn't know what it was asking. So we're really going to drive home the vocab. You've got to know what the words are, what they mean, what they look like. So first of all, this is page 8. 8. This is page 8. At the top, we've already got the definitions. We're just going to write the words. What is the word to describe numbers or variables that are separated by plus or minus signs? Terms. If we're talking about terms in math, we're talking about numerical or even with variables, expressions that are separated by plus and minus signs. So if you look down here, here's a plus sign, minus, plus, minus, plus. I just separated all the terms. X is a term. 8y is a term. Negative 2x is a term. 7 is, if you see it, does that visual help you? Those are terms. Next vocab word. What is a combination of numbers, operations, and variables that represent a value? That is just an expression. This is an expression right here. What's the difference in an expression and an equation? It's common sense. Guys, this is why I love math. They make it so simple, yet so complicated. An equation has an equal sign in it, which means the left equals the right. An expression has no equal sign. Okay? What is a letter that represents an unknown value in an equation or an expression?
Coefficient.
You're so close. Variable. Coefficient will be the number that goes in front of it, but I'm really glad you're trying. Variable is a letter that represents an unknown value. What does vary mean?
A lot.
Vary.
Variety.
Variety, it can change. I like variety. A variety of values, maybe. A variable. Do you need a pencil?
No, yeah.
A variable is called a variable because numbers get plugged into them and it changes the value of them. That's why they're called variables. They vary in value. What is a number that multiplies by a variable in an equation or expression?
Coefficient.
That's a coefficient.
Good boy.
That's the one in front of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stay in your lane. He's answering, you're not.
Yeah, no, I just said you did good.
Okay, well, but there was a little bit of dripping disdain and sarcasm out of it.
How?
I don't know, that's just the way it came across. So if you don't want it to, then you need to just change your tone. Right? You know what I mean?
I'm saying sorry.
No, change your tone. Like, good job, man.
Oh.
Like, that's sort of. Instead of,
So much.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You gotta lift each other up.
Alright, we're all learning. There we go. We lift each other up. Be kind or be quiet. Y'all are going to be the difference, right? Y'all are going to be the difference. We're going to have a good year. Look at the next one. We've got a fixed value that does not change and is not affected by variables.
Constant.
That is called a constant.
Good job, man.
Yes.
That was better. That was much nicer. Thank you. This is exactly why it's called a constant, is because it is constantly that value. Again, mathematicians name stuff to give you like a clue what it means in the word. It is going to constantly be 3. It is going to vary in value depending on what I plug in. See the difference? All right, let's practice. Right here, I want you to tell me what are the variable terms. Like, what are the terms that have variables, just separated by commas? Here, tell me the terms that are constants, which means they have no variable. And then here, what are the coefficients that are in front of the variables. So everybody try. You're just writing, using this as your example, you're writing down which ones fall under which category, and you're separating them by commas. You should have 4 answers in the first, 2 in the second, and 4 in the last. You should have 4 answers here, 2 here, 4 here. So everybody look and try. Any terms with variables. No, there should be 4 here, 2 here, and then 4. Now I want you to turn to a neighbor and compare answers. Turn to a neighbor and compare answers. No, but what's in front of X? There you go. So if I'm asking for a coefficient, that means I'm asking for just numbers. There should be no letters, no variables. Variables should have letters. All right. Let's check your answers. So tell me what variable terms you should have written. X.
8y.
8y.
2x.
Don't forget the sign with it. So it'd be negative 2x. And then
Negative 5y.
Good.
No, they have the letter beside them.
I had that.
It's okay. This is why we're practicing it right now. So variable terms means the terms that have letters, and the number with it also, comes along. Now we want the constants. That would be the ones that have no variables at all. If you're reading through it, you should have come to 7
And 3.
and 3.
Yeah, not so long.
Then coefficients is the numbers in front of the variables. Well, if you knew you confidently answered this section here, you could have just pulled those numbers. So what is in front of the X?
One.
There's an understood one there that matters. What's in front of the Y? 8. What's in front of this X? Negative 2. And what's in front of this Y? Negative 5.
Good job, Carl.
Good job. Those 3 words, terms, 4 words, terms, variables, constants, and coefficients. You're going to hear those a lot, okay? So it's really important that you understand what those mean. Now let's come down here and make sure you remember how to combine like terms. Remember in math, when you're adding and subtracting expressions that have variables, you can only combine them if they match. So what I mean by that is an X can only get added or subtracted with another X. Has to have the same letter, has to have the same exponent, but right now all of our exponents are 1. But eventually we're going to get to where we'll have an X squared. You cannot add X to X squared, those are totally different. So I want you to think of it as like last names, maybe. So the last name here is X, last name's Y, last name X, none. That's a constant. Last name Y, none. So now what we're going to do is condense the ones with the same last name, okay? So this example right here, if you're looking at it carefully, this X is a 2x. What's negative x? Is this starting to come back?
Oh,
Then we've got 8y minus, I'm going to underline it as I'm doing
3y.
this so you'll know.
3y.
There you go.
Where did you get 5?
It's okay.
Y plus 4.
Hold on.
It's like 8 minus 5.
We've got 8y minus 5y. So if I had 8 of them and I take 5 away, I've got 3 left. And then now the constants by themselves, I'm not going to underline it because now it's starting to get crowded. I've got 7 plus 3, so plus 10. I need you to do 1 through 4 right now. There's a lot here, so when you first look at it, you may get a little overwhelmed and your eyes may find the wrong things. So use the underline technique to help draw your attention to what you're actually working with. This one's not bad. 5x minus 2x is 3x. I have nothing to combine the 6 with, so it just comes down.
Yeah.
Y'all listening? Alright, over here, I am recording. And the microphone is a hot mic right there. So everything you say is on my recording. This is negative 8y plus 12y.
4y.
That would be 4y.
Yeah.
It is good practice to write your variables first and your constants last.
Yeah.
We're getting into what's called standard form, which matters. So I've got 4y, and then I have positive 3 plus 5 plus 8. Over here, I've got negative 7a plus 3a, negative 4a,
Yeah.
and then 12 minus 5.
Equals 7.
The last one, 6p minus 5p, 1p. Don't write the 1 if you need to, that's fine. But you need to start training yourself to not write it because you're never going to see it. So like on the EOC, they're not going to put a 1 there. Okay? And then 6 plus 10. 16. All right. When you are multiplying variables and exponents, you're going to combine with the expressions contain terms with exponents of multiple variables. You do not change their exponents. You just combine the coefficients. So you'll notice this is the exact same thing as what we just did, but now there's a couple in here with exponents. This is just to let you know you still have to match the exact term. Same letter, same exponent. Order does not matter. So let's look at it. We've got 7k squared minus k minus 8k plus 8 minus 2k squared.
5k squared plus 9k plus 8.
Minus 9k minus.
It's 5k squared.
So let's walk. I think you're on the right track. We've got 7k squared minus 2k squared. So that would be 5k squared. Right? You need to draw 2 lines since it's squared. That's fine.
Negatives equals a positive.
Well, we're just adding. We're not multiplying. You're thinking multiplying. So we got negative k minus 8k would be minus 9k.
47.
And then that 8 is just there. Number 6, try it. You've got x squared minus 2xy minus 7yx plus 3y squared. When you first look at it, you might think nothing combines. Look again. There are 2 terms in there with the same letters, same exponents, and remember I said order does not matter. x squared combined with anything?
No.
No, not at all. Bring it down. We got negative 2xy minus 7yx.
Negative
Negative 9x.
9x. Y.
Nice. You might think they don't combine, but they have the same letters, variables. They have the same exponents. The order's just been switched, and that's okay. All you gotta do is shuffle the order to match. And I personally like to write it in alphabetical order, so mine would be negative 9xy. And then at the end, we're going to bring that down because we don't have anything to go with it. You try 7 and 8, and then we're going to put the answers on the board. All right, look up here and see if you got the same answer.
Yeah, just different order.
Different order is fine. Double check the signs. Make sure the signs are correct. Like, make sure your 14 has a negative in front. Make sure this, your 7's positive. Make sure your b squared is positive. Double check it. If you got it wrong, can you figure out what you missed? Do you understand it?